Hey there, welcome back to the vlog. What time is it? Let's imagine that I'm in Toronto and it's January the 30th, 2019 at 11:22 precisely. Well, that is the local time to the computer, which is in the time zone UTC-5. Most computers don't work on local time because time zones really mess things up. Humans in Toronto use Eastern Standard Time, EST, or Eastern Daylight Time, EDT, depending on whether or not the clocks have gone forward or backward, but under the hood it's all UTC plus or minus some number of hours. Now, why is Coordinated Universal Time not CUT? Well, NIST, or NIST, which is the National Institute of Standards and Technology, and I'm just going to say NIST going forward because it's a lot easier, says that in French it would have to be TUC, which is the Temps Universel Coordonné. So as to not favour any particular language, UTC was chosen. This French thing and time is a recurring theme. The UK moved to Greenwich Mean Time, or GMT, in the 1830s because of the railways. An international conference in 1884 proposed Greenwich as the world's prime meridian. The French didn't like this and the fallout was immense. For decades, the definition of time in France was Paris Mean Time retarded by 9 minutes and 21 seconds. Greenwich Mean Time by any other name. And a splendid piece of diplomatic footwork. And just going off topic for a second, there was a similar argument over the spelling of the name for that joint plane that the British and the French worked on. Concorde was the English spelling of the word, and the French was Concorde. In both languages, the word means agreement, harmony, or union, but the French version was finally adopted by the British, I guess basically just to shut them up so everybody can move forward. Anyway, back to the story. According to my phone and laptop, regardless of what it says on the screen, under the hood, it's really January the 30th, 2019 at 16:22 precisely. However, that time is not really accurate enough for high-tech navigation such as GPS. To achieve the level of precision that GPS has, the atomic clock ticks from the GPS satellites must be known to an accuracy of 20 to 30 nanoseconds. However, because the satellites are constantly moving relative to the observers on the Earth, effects predicted by the special and general theories of relativity must be taken into account to achieve this desired 20 to 30 nanosecond accuracy. Because an observer on the ground sees the satellites in motion relative to them, special relativity predicts that we should see their clocks ticking more slowly. Special relativity predicts that the onboard atomic clocks on the satellites should fall behind clocks on the ground by about 7 microseconds per day because of the slower ticking rate due to the time dilation effect of their relative motion. Further, the satellites are in orbits high enough above the Earth where the curvature of space-time due to the Earth's mass is less than it is at the Earth's surface. A prediction of general relativity is that clocks closer to a massive object will seem to tick more slowly than those located farther away. The combination of these two relativistic effects means that the clocks on board each satellite should tick faster than the identical clocks on the ground by about 38 microseconds per day. This sounds small, but the high precision required of the GPS system requires nanosecond accuracy, and 38 microseconds is 38,000 nanoseconds. If these effects are not properly taken into account, a navigational fix based on the GPS satellites would be wrong after only 2 minutes, and the errors in global positions would continue to get worse at a rate of approximately 10 kilometers per day thereafter. This means the entire system will be useless for navigation in a very, very short time. The engineers who designed the GPS system included these relativistic effects when they designed and deployed the system. For example, to counteract the general relativistic effect once in orbit, the onboard clocks were designed to tick slower, so that once they were in their proper orbit stations, their clocks would appear to tick at about the correct rate as compared to a reference atomic clock at the GPS ground stations. Further, each GPS receiver has built into it a microcomputer that, in addition to performing the calculation of position using 3D trilateration, will also compute any additional special relativistic timing calculations that are required using the data provided by the satellites. Now, GPS time was 0 hours on the 6th of January 1980. Since then, it has not been updated with leap seconds, and so GPS is now ahead of UTC by 18 seconds. So the time there is January the 30th, 2019 at 16:22 and 18 seconds precisely. But this does not match up with the navigational time used in shipping and other places that have Lorenz. Long-range navigation time is an atomic timescale implemented by the atomic clocks in Lorenz chain transmitter sites. Lorentz time was at 0 hours on the 1st of January 1958. And since then, it has also not been affected by leap seconds, so it is now ahead of UTC by 27 seconds. For them, it would currently be January the 30th, 2019 at 16:22 and 22 seconds. And none of this matches up with the TAI, which means International Atomic Time. Yes, the French have everything to do with this one as well. Temps Atomique International is the International Atomic Timescale based on the continuous counting of the SI second. What is the SI second? That's the international system. Yes, the French have done it again. Système International. This uses the average weighted time of over 400 atomic clocks. TAI is currently ahead of UTC by 37 seconds. TAI is always ahead of GPS by 19 seconds, so according to that, it would be January the 30th, 2019 at 16:22 and 37 seconds. So which time is the real time? You may remember NIST, or the National Institute of Standards and Technology, being mentioned earlier. For all practical purposes, time from the NIST F1 and F2 clocks are the official timekeepers for the USA, and both contribute to the UTC and TAI. NIST F2, which as of recording this video is just over 5 years old, will lose 1 second every 300 million years. So to go back and answer the question, for all practical purposes, UTC and not TAI is the official time. If you like these videos, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like it, thumbs down. If you want to see more, hit subscribe, and speak to you soon. Bye.